Hello, and welcome back to the Awakening Philosophy Podcast. My name is Jed. We are exploring Sneezius. You've heard of Sneezy the Seven Dwarf, but the Seven Dwarf member, but this is Sneezius, the Christian philosopher. Very funny stuff to start off the stream. Sneezius. He was a Christian philosopher, well, someone who wanted to be seen as a philosopher, wanted to be a philosopher, but still was a preacher. What kind of preacher, you may ask? What rank did he get? Did he become Pope? No. Did he become Bishop or Archbishop? Doesn't say. I guess just a priest. We'll read it again. We'll go over it quickly. But somebody who would only share things of the church that he. So he was a priest. Is in the priesthood that he that didn't conflict with what he believed. So good, I guess. But while he wanted to be seen as a philosopher, he did something interesting. He saw the significance of dreams in some way. Now, one of the things that we have been seeing, well, what we just read was sneeze. I just did a sneeze. A double sneeze. Bless you.
Spit on me.
Jesus, Emma.
I'm cute. Like, it's cutie pie.
Okay. I wanted to get the bless you, excuse you drop. Forget about it. So, what we just read in what we have seen for ourselves is if he is a philosopher, or if anyone is a philosopher that sees the not only the importance but the essential nature of dream analysis, not interpretation, dream analysis, then they will stand apart from all of the others in the hierarchy of philosophers. Now, that does not include Homer, maybe. We don't know yet. We've yet to read the Odyssey. Oh, and the Iliad too. Parmenides didn't mention dreams. Diotima didn't seem to mention dreams in the Symposium. So, at least from our account of those people, they might not have reached that level. Socrates did. So we can wonder if he reached a level beyond Diotima and Parmenides, or if he added to the tradition, perhaps. We have been reflecting on what the significance of dreams is here. And the question is, well, how important are dreams? How significant is it learning to understand our dreams? Notice, not interpretation. So everything that we have been learning about how to read in a new kind of a way, a fun kind of a way, full of fun and whimsy.
Where's the joy? Where's the whimsy?
Where's the childlike wonder?
We could hypothesize that everything we've been learning about this, we could take to understanding our dreams. Do we read our dreams the same way we read a text? All of the reflection, looking for puzzles, using the text itself to put the answers together, using the dialectic structure for both. Can we see the dialectic structure? And maybe if one of the terms is missing, maybe there's a question there. And can we look for the key terms within the text to answer those questions or puzzles? And when we do have those terms, what do we do with them? Do we arrange them according to the dialectical structure to answer those questions using the text, using the terms from the text? In reading the text, do we wonder about the author of the text? Do we have to ask the question, what does his level of vision and understanding? What level of that has he reached? And to what extent has his pathologos blocked him? And do we get an insight from the text about his pathologos, both its strength and its nature? Because the words that we use tell us, the words that we use and how we function, that includes the words we use in writing a text, and how we function as an author, tell us about those two things, the logos and the pathologos. Our vision and understanding of the logos, and equally so for our blog. Looking at the main characters, how are they going? Has Socrates reached a higher level of excellence? Excellence, one of those dialectic or self-logos terms. Goodness, what's his goodness, benefit, excellence, all of those modads. Whoops, I forgot to light up the blackboard. Here we go. All of these self-logos monad terms. How is Socrates and functioning in terms of justice? Is he providing a benefit to Jesus? What level of excellence has he reached? Who is telling the truth? Equally so for the other characters, Jesus, the chorus, the anti-chorus. Using this basketball team of ones, using this one of pairs, what can we say about his functioning as a whole? Are there any parts that stand out in the text, within the functioning of the characters? So within the text, the author, and the characters? How are those characters same and different from each other? How are they limited, or what level of freedom have they reached? And the triad set of terms. How are they doing in terms of the lesser, the pathologos, the false? How are they doing in terms of the greater, mind, reality? And how are they doing in terms of the ultimate, self? Or do we see a lesser is to greater is to ultimate mean analogy functioning? Is there some drama through which the lesser can reach the ultimate? Or are they blocked? So can we use these self-logos terms and the dialectic structure that we've been learning to use while we read, can we equally apply that to dreams? Because if the act of reading is going from modern education, interpretation, what does this book mean to you, to reading properly in a way that can allow you to understand the text, understand the author, understand the meaning, understand the characters, but not only understand, but learn the art of understanding yourself, your own faculty of understanding, in a way that can affect you, change you. So it's not just education for education's sake. To meet the quota, to get the passing grade. It's something that can change you, better you, a kind of learning and nurturing that we're here to do if there's any meaning to existence. So if all of that applies to reading, to read without interpretation, and if what we just saw in the text is we have to see the significance to be those which stand apart from the other hierarchy, the other the other philosophers, we have to see, to stand apart from the other philosophers, if we have to see that dreams are not only important but essential to spirituality and philosophy. And we also have to see that we approach dreams without interpretation, but instead the act or the activity that we're here to learn, that is the passageway to the divine. Passageway to the divine underneath. So in other words, the dialectic. Funny that everything we're seeing about philosophy is the dialectic. It is itself the mean term, the transitional term, the method. I think I'm going to have to turn up my fan. Hold, please. So the mean term in understanding our dreams. So that's where we are. If what we're learning from the text is there is an essential way of understanding our dreams that's essential and necessary for our own spiritual development, we better understand exactly why that's the case and how we can participate in our dreams. If it's the top of the list, if it's the best thing we can do, if it's what elevates certain philosophers or human beings doing their job, doing their purpose in the logos, if it elevates them from the others, we better master it, shouldn't we? So that's where we are in the text. Let's jump in. Here we go. So, Sneesius, the priest who wanted to both sides it. Yeah, I have a little bit of ignorance and a little bit of understanding. Why not? See, but also that's important because, yes, we can understand him in that class of interpreter number 8, double 8, just like Ficino, both sides are. Try to save the old and the new, keep them both. Although Ficino tries to synthesize the old and the new. So maybe we can have a 9th class. Someone like Sneesius who wants to keep both old and new. Don't bring them together, just, stick to the old and whatever piece of the new, then, just, I guess if we were doing that, just adding in, because he said, I'm going to propagandize beliefs through religion, but, if I don't agree with it, then I won't. So that seems like the patchwork. Number 3, taking a piece of the new and just patch it into the old. He's still a priest. So whether he's 3 or 8, both sides are. That would be a category. That would be the category that we can put him into. While that is the case, also, what was I saying? Oh, I forgot what I was saying.
I'm eating the testicles of this bull, and I'm eating it raw. Raw bull balls. This is raw buffalo balls.
Have you been watching Joe Rogan?
I don't want to eat a monkey.
Alright, so Sneesius. One bonus point or partial credit for him. He's not buying into the resurrection stuff, which we know was added by the church 200 years after the book was written. So, tell your kids that as you take away their Easter eggs. Oh, I don't have kids. You are my kids. This channel is my kids. In the tradition of Diotima, give birth to works that can last 1,000 years as objects of reflection for humanity that can rival even Homer and Hesiod, or the Bible and Koran. You are my baby.
Absolutely gooped.
Gooped. What does that mean?
I'm too pure.
Okay, I'm too pure to understand it as well. He said simply and clearly, Sneesius, that he wanted to be a philosopher. But again, this is something important for us to see. Without midwifery and maybe dream analysis, you may really want to be a philosopher. But the power of your pathologos belief-based traditions and identity is too strong. It's too strong. You can't just ignore them and they go away. So even someone like Sneesius, who seemed to be doing pretty damn well if he saw the significance of dreams, even he is still stuck in his problem. He's still doing priest stuff. And hey, likely not your religion. His version of priesthood or his denomination of Christianity probably would be completely different than what you find around today. Probably all sorts of crazy ass shit. So don't get precious about it. Stuff that you would probably, turn your stomach today. But that's what belief is. Understanding is true. Belief is just tradition. And as we improve in understanding, we look back at the traditions of last decade or century and holy crap, those guys were savages. Yeah. As someone 10 years from now, well, I mean, with all the crap that's happening at the moment, one day from now, we'll look back and say, call us savages. Based on the level of understanding that they've reached. So, logos and pathologos, again, the two things we address through the dialectic. Again, dialectic. So, even for someone who wanted to be a philosopher and maybe has even had enough skill to see the significance in dreams, even they are stuck. Isn't that tragic? Isn't it tragic to lose midwifery and dream analysis the way we lost it with Socrates? That's where it ended. It took us 2,500 years for Pierre Grimes to come along and rediscover it. And then we are living in the moment. What it's taken for us to translate the works of Plato and Homer, so we can see that they also had an understanding. Literally, he's in the process of translating the Odyssey from Homer right now. So we're still right amongst the transition. Or the picking up where Socrates left off. So isn't that interesting? He wanted to be a philosopher, but without the application of the dialectic to remove our problems and blocks, the pathologos, we are stuck. Oh dear. So, he would stand apart from the other philosophers if he makes dreams not only important but essential. What does that mean? It's not just a handy tool to help with your removal of pathologos and development of the logos. It's essential. If you can't see why dreams are absolutely essential for our work in purification perfection, or in reaching our higher states of mind and ultimate purpose, then you're not there yet. Look harder. No, not look harder. Stay in the game. Keep wondering. Keep talking about it with your friends over coffee. I'm out of milk, so I'm drinking coffee substitute. Very tasty. It's good.
This is why I love this channel, man.
Yeah. For the drink reviews. It's good. So, what else did Sneezius do? He stressed that dreams were especially significant to those given to philosophy, since they are the ones who are open to enlightenment. Many other staff bearers, few other true mystics, dems be the philosophers, or human beings who are making use of what makes them human. Usia, logos, self-reflection, understanding. How do we make use of that? The dialectic. So, human beings are potentially mystics and can reach their highest goals or enlightenment. Sneezius found that it was through dreams one can reach the receptacle of truth, pure, brilliant, and divine. Does that make it essential for enlightenment? And he added that it was through this kind of pursuit one would be able to see the future. Ooh. Very important words. Share them with... Jesus wants to help all the religious people. Why not just drop belief and jump into the real game? I say that, but I can appreciate it's difficult, especially people who all they know is whatever crazy cult they grew up in. All they've ever worn is Mormon underpants. How will they know other underpants? You know the Mormons wear magic underpants. That's the thing. Don't laugh. It's normal to them. They don't know.
Would you just blow in from Stupid Town?
Maybe they did. So Socrates wants to follow those who have a kinship with dreams. So it's the highest kind of expression of philosophy, dream analysis. It's essential, necessary, significant, and essential, to use the right words. Oh, what's that noise mean? Oh, okay. That's fine. Discord notification. Not only is it the essential, the method for reaching the receptacle of truth. So, receptacle of truth would be source, the description, pure. That could be the self or mind, two different kinds of sources. The ultimate and penultimate, fancy word. Brilliant, that sounds like the eighth oxiding picture or the second hypothesis, mind. And divine, that could be either. So, unsure what the receptacle of truth is, could be either. But, you know, it's only one of those two, could be both. I would suggest if it's the highest expression of philosophy and the highest activity we can engage in as human beings, the highest use of our understanding and the skill of understanding the dialectic, then I would suggest you go through both. I suggest both receptacles of truth are open to us through dreams, but also to see the future. That's pretty wild. How would that help your development and your ability to play the game well? So not only do you get all those lovely goodies, it's a win-win-win.
It's a win-win-win-win-win.
You also become homies with Socrates because he says,
Hey man, wouldn't some kind of future where people have all their whatever basic needs met of shelter, all this crap, and they could do whatever the hell they want, wouldn't that be good?
Yeah.
No,
Yes.
it wouldn't.
it wouldn't.
Cunt a little fucking bitch.
Speaking of little fucking bitch, hey Reeve. Oh, that was bad. Sorry. How's it going? Let's get a better sound drop.
No, you're not the one that's mentally unwell. You're brave. You are
Crossing into new boundaries.
By being here, you are brave and crossing into new boundaries. How's it going? How's your world? So we become homies with Socrates. Start to pay attention to your dreams, learn to understand your dreams. That's the sort of people that Socrates wants to hang out with. Through the continuous study of dreams, the imagination is conjoined with a profound understanding. So we've been developing our understanding. That's what we can do through time. We've been looking at the fact that the second hypothesis is experienced cognitively as knowing, ousia, and its logos, activity. Third hypothesis is understanding. Therefore, we go through learning in time, which is another argument that would suggest, or that would imply, that the meaning of life here on Earth is to learn. We've done a few of those actually, because for this to be a just world, we can't just be trapped within our suffering of the pathologos and whatever current level of logos or goodness we're able to participate in. There has to be an ability to get more of the good and remove the bad. In other words, learning. So for there to be justice in reality, there has to be learning. Make a similar argument about learning in terms of reincarnation. So that's the understanding we've been developing, but understanding isn't alone. We have to visualize. Wisdom is knowing and understanding, the whole and the parts. Imagination is one of those ways of understanding the whole. So through dreams, we unite our ability to function through understanding and imagination. Isn't that neat? What would that be? What kind of cognitive functioning or skill would we have if we have a union of them both? Well, there are some athletes who talk about sometimes being in the zone, where all of the understanding that they've developed in their practice and training, they don't reason through step by step. That would take too long when the LeBron James is barreling down at you to do a slam dunk. And you don't know whether he's going to pass it or whatever. You have to imagination as a oneness, or instantly get a vision of what's happening and what to do. So there's your imagination. Making use of all of your understanding, not just your understanding, the highest level of understanding. And when those two come together, your visualization or imagination and your highest use of your understanding from your training, they call that being in the zone. What they're calling it here is awakening your divine character. Ooh. So that would be what the state of being that you could call it. The cognitive function of the union of imagination and understanding. Intuitive intelligence. You intuitively know to jump up in the air and block his slam dunk. Or you intuitively know that he's pretending to do a slam dunk and you jump to the side to catch the pass that he's throwing to Luka Doncic. Intuitive intelligence. Isn't that interesting? Now that cognitive function has to have some sort of organ, as your eyes do the seeing of the light, your ears do the hearing of the sound. It sounds like the eye of the soul is the thing that does the intuitive intelligencing of Your divine character of the whole, I guess, of whatever is the union of imagination and understanding would be the cognitive function of intuitive intelligence. The organ you could call the eye of the soul. The state of being when functioning through that would be your divine character. So the eye doing the seeing using sight, the ears doing the hearing using hearing, the eye of the soul using intuitive intelligence, imagination conjoined with your highest understanding, profound understanding of divine character. Lovely analogies, hooray.
Making ice cream's a good and spit on me.
Jesus, Emma.
Dead-eyed, and I don't use this kind of terminology lightly, dimwits.
Would you just blow in from Stupid Town?
Come on, Emma. That sound drop was from today's episode of Majority Report. So, Sneesius echoes our own understanding that it is from God that the knowledge of dreams come. But also, as there is a single God, there is also gods. So while there is a single God and a knowledge which functions through dreams, it would also make sense of a oneness. Oops. What? He also makes sense of what we would suggest would be oneness. So does that help us shine light on our job of moving from the second hypothesis, mind, which is what metaphysics is, the study of its aspects or intelligences, the different aspects of the intelligences involved in the single intelligence, to the, by the way, theology is nothing other than the mythological or analogical representations of those intelligences of mind. So there are your gods, stories about Zeus having a party with Aphrodite. There aren't real people in the sky. To think that is stupid or being a barbarian for the ancient Greeks. But it talks about the aspects of the intelligences and how they relate to each other, or the aspects of oneness, whole, part, same, different, beauty, justice, goodness, all of those aspects we've mentioned already today. So if that's the gods, then the God might be the self. And is that another kind of transition from many to one? We talked about the many cognitive functions of imagination and understanding, unifying in a one of intuitive intelligence, which is a divine nature. Would there be a similar kind of thing for the oneness of the manyness of pure intelligences or gods into a divine intuitive intelligence of the dream maker or the God? If it's from God, singular, that the knowledge of dreams comes. Therefore, if the dreams know all about our individual souls on the lower level, physical world, becoming, and uses the pure intelligences or gods, as well as the knowledge from the God or self, then is that threesome that Socrates has been talking about? Let's search for threesome. No jokes. Here we go. Therefore, Let's read this whole paragraph. So the gap is how we participate, the gap. Just like our dreams come from a gap. So we as souls can participate in providence through the gap from which the communication unfolds. So the gap, the insight into the gap, says Socrates, which is the mean term, or the third hypothesis, stayed with Socrates a long time. I came to realize that the assumptions we made about time and motion, time, interesting. So time and motion and rest clearly, so motion and rest, movement and rest, goals, clearly presuppose the second hypothesis, or the gods, or intelligences. With another step, a step from what? Many to one, I was able to see that the second hypothesis can be seen in turn as necessitating the categories of the first. A many to one return through reflection. Simply stated, oh my God, on reflection, it can be seen that the idea of the one, the first, the source, the self, pure being, second hype, and the soul form a triad, and it's this threesome.
I'm eating the testicles of this bull, and I'm eating it raw. Raw bull balls. This is raw buffalo balls.
Right, we're not getting raw buffalo ball nutrients, we're getting mind nutrients. Absolutely appropriate sound drop. Thank you very much.
You just attacked my person. You just harmed my body.
No, I said balls. Okay. The threesome of the one, pure being, and soul form a triad, and this threesome are the first three hypotheses. Literally, where we are as individuals is the fourth, pathologos, and as a species and race, all of our institutions, political, spiritual, religion, social, capitalism, justice, punishing those who oppress, who threaten the power of the majority, punitive, retributive and not restorative, punishing people instead of actually solving problems. All of our systems are ruled by the most ignorant. Belief, pathologos. They're all anti-justice or pseudo-justice. Therefore, our movement from 4 into 3 is the awakening of our purpose, which is the beginning of this triad from 3 to 2 to 1. The third, the gap, necessitates the second. The second necessitates the first. A stepwise movement in developing, so long as you wake up to the fact that beliefs are shit and hurt you and never help anyone, and the things that help you in life is understanding. Go to a doctor who understands how to fix a broken arm, not some cracked up, super confident idiot. Done too much coke. Oh yeah, I know about medicine. Because I watched a lot of Doogie Howser growing up. Fuck no. Car breaks down, who understands how to do it? Not your overconfident uncle who's had too many beers. Oh yeah, I know about engines. I watch NASCAR. And what causes problems? Racism, sexism, Nazism, all the isms, religionism, belief. Right? Who's doing all the harm? The people who don't have understanding and claim positions of authority. Politicians, billionaires, they don't understand shit. Oh no, but I'm a The people who convinced the oracle to eat raw bull testicles. This guy.
I don't want to eat a monkey.
Doesn't understand shit. He's a professional belief haver. I agree with all of my own beliefs. And I'm going to use my millions of dollars to have a circle of other right-wing fascist comedians who will train my friends to be right-wing fascist comedians because they have to agree with my beliefs, otherwise they won't get work. And in capitalism, you have to obey the billionaires because if you don't get work, you can't afford the necessities of life. But we have to pay for some stupid ass reason. To pay to exist on this planet that we evolved into and from. So, all of those systems are fourth hypothesis belief. Our purpose, therefore, is to move from the fourth to the third. That's called reading. Now, Socrates talked about he had to have a mean term to get into what we do here. Music. Some musician inspired him, and he was inspired by the musician to say, hang on a second, could there be an intelligence underlying the intelligence and the order and the harmony of music? So however you get into it, it's the fourth from the third, and then as soon as you're in the third, you can solve problems from the fourth, because understanding solves problems, but also you can make those stepwise movements from the third to the second to the first, but all three of them can come together. You wouldn't leave understanding behind in knowledge. And why would you leave understanding and knowledge behind in self? Gonna throw them in the trash on the way out? So, one, being, and soul form a triad, and it's this threesome that are the first three hypotheses. The idea of being is the notion we have called ousia, and is the major idea in both the second and third hypothesis. So that's what we've been saying today. Ousia, or self-reflection through time, allows us to learn understanding. See, the most ignorant people, believers, are ignorant because they don't learn anything new, because they don't have to, because they believe all the same shit they believed when they were 4. Understanding improves. If you're understanding skateboarding, you can always learn new moves. You can make new connections between things. Belief is, I'm as stupid as I was when I was 4, and I got told that we have to wear magic underpants for Jesus.
Would you just blow in from Stupid Town?
Stupid
They're
town.
completely lying to you. They're
And
completely lying.
If you don't know, now you know.
Now you know. So, the ousia, through time, understanding, all at once, the second hypothesis. But hang on a second, haven't we been talking about a movement from understanding to imagination to a one of both? Hey, welcome sus. We affiliate yet? No, we are not. I do not have an average of 3 viewers for 3 streams. I have an average of 0.5 viewers. Are we handsome at least? Well, you tell me.
She's a moron. She's a bonked on the head individual, BHI. I coined that.
Alright, the soundboard says that I'm a bonked on the head individual. But you say I'm still handsome.
Spit on me.
Oh my goodness. Emma says spit on me.
I love this guy.
So long as you love this guy, we're happy. So, second to third, how's things with you? Second to third to 1. Ousia is a major idea in knowing, or imagination we could even conclude. So we're linking this to what we've been reading. Imagination and also understanding. You are tired.
Dude, suck my dick.
Oh my goodness.
Why can't these guys shut up? Whether or not it's about Jesus.
Stop insulting my viewers. Why can't you guys shut up, viewers? I mean, not viewers. No, fuck. Soundboard crazy people.
Making ice cream is a good and courageous thing.
That's better. Tired. I'm also a bit tired. I had a huge day yesterday. I had a banger stream. They're all banger streams here. I had to do a bunch of stuff. Fix my car. And I played with my electric guitar. I don't normally play electric guitar out. So I had a big 3-hour gig yesterday with my electric guitar, and I'm a bit tired after that. It was interesting. It was very weird. I can't play the sort of style of music that I'm used to playing on electric guitar. I always miss music streams. I haven't streamed a lot. I meant like I played out with the IRL people. You know, the weirdo gooners?
It makes sense.
The normies?
It's better to come in the sink than to sink in the cum.
Jesus. That's a new one. I played for those normies who are in IRL. It was pretty good. It was nice. It was good feedback, even though it was really weird because, see, electric guitar it's very articulate. Like you're saying specific words. There's no background. It's all foreground. So I set it up so I could kind of play my electric guitar a little bit like I play my acoustic guitar. It kind of worked. It's a very weird sound, very interesting sound. But yeah, I got some, even though it was weird and new, and I used a new amplifier, and I used new pedals and stuff. I think it was okay. The best were there were a lot of little babies around, and they were adorable because they loved it. They were dancing. Seeing like little babies dance is the best. But what's interesting is when the little babies are dancing, the parents are like, "Oh, look at my baby dance! Look at him go! Look at him go!" And they get really happy too. And then the whole family's happy. And then they think, "Oh, this musician associated with happiness." Now what Socrates says is, hopefully someone like Socrates is like, I wonder if there is a similar intelligent pattern on a higher level that's like the intelligent pattern of music that makes the babies dance. Because if you can wonder about that, you can move from ignorance, fourth hypothesis, belief, into understanding, third hypothesis. And as Socrates points out, hey, understanding, which benefits us if we participate in it, providence, necessitates the principles of understanding. For us to understand things, you need all this stuff. To understand something, you need to see the parts of something and see how they fit into a whole. Part and whole. You need to, if you understand something, you need to see how music is the same as logos, but different in that it's a lower level. So those are the pairs. You use intelligence or understanding to reach your goodness, get your benefit. I accidentally deleted some stuff. Let's add it back in. Like, out of time. There we go. You can say that, hang on a second, if there is an intelligence or understanding, third hypothesis, there is the lesser, people who don't understand, or the Dunning-Kruger effect, believers who pretend to understand shit they don't. Again, our current world, capitalism, the stupidest people want the Elon Musks of the world, claim to understand shit they don't. The politicians, especially the right wing, but currently also in a similar way, but different, the left. Religion, belief, rejecting understanding, harming everyone, killing people. There's the greater, music is much better than that. Then there's the ultimate, the actual logos, or philosophy. So, where do these live? Where does whole and part live? Is there a filing cabinet that we pull whole and part out of? Is there a filing cabinet for whole and a different one for part? Is there a different filing cabinet for lesser, greater, and ultimate? Or are they all aspects or the intelligences or, in theology, the gods of the second hypothesis mind? If it's a oneness, it's got to be a oneness of something. It's not the pure one of its source. Oneness means it's a bunch of stuff together as a unity. This is the stuff. These are the gods. That's theology. That's metaphysics. That's what philosophy's about. So in other words, understanding that we get benefit from necessitates these together as a oneness. So understanding the third hypothesis necessitates the second hypothesis, and similarly, you could say each one of these things are the selfers. We're not talking about justice in terms of a just football game or a just society or a just relationship, but justice itself. Whole itself, part itself, beauty itself. Meaning there has to be it necessitates the self. Also, if these are together as a oneness, it necessitates the idea or principle of one self. By the ways, if these are true and belief or pathologos is its distortion or false, for there to be such a thing as true and false, or lesser and greater, false and true, there has to be a principle of truth. Or false and truth, true. The true self. For these goodnesses to exist as aspects, they provide our goodness to use this either in knowing or understanding, or together as wisdom, or as we're learning, if what we've been seeing as wisdom is understanding and knowing, the second and third, we're seeing that they can come together as intuitive intelligence. Is that what it feels like to have wisdom? Is that what wisdom is? The kind of intuitive intelligence that comes when our imagination is joined with our highest understanding, as we've been reading, that we only get through dream analysis. We get the awakening of that through dream analysis. We might have a glimpse on the basketball court when you block a LeBron James dunk, or you throw a good fast ball in baseball. That's a bad one. Let's just stick with because there's not much judgment going on in throwing a fastball, but sport, often there's a lot of stuff going on, like in basketball or football, whatever. So for there to be goodnesses, there has to be an idea of good. So all of these aspects or gods or intelligences necessitate its source, which we could call the self. First hypothesis, ninth oxiding picture, that we can also understand as a pure one, or the highest or ultimate good, or the principle of true. What's the principle of true that allows our experience of it in the second hypothesis and its distortion in our everyday life? What's the principle of true that allows for there to be true and false? and a learning that comes when we are able to distinguish and judge as a dialectician the difference? The principle of true. For us to go through that learning process in order to want to master the dialectic, there has to be some motivation or a goodness or benefit or excellence or beauty or justice we get as a result. There's got to be something fueling our engine, getting us off of our butts. To talk about this stuff, record our dreams, practice the dialectic on it, and use the dialectic with our friends if we have good noodles in our life. So there has to be a principle of true. There has to be a principle of good to motivate us. For us to do the learning, to facilitate that ability to judge the false from the true. In order to reach our benefits, there has to be some method or way of bringing into a oneness, whole and part, same and different, like and unlike, to move from the many of opinions or beliefs or delusions or sense perception to a single one of understanding. I have English now as a one. I see through it. Therefore, for there to be a learning or development, we need the idea of true, we need the principle of true to predate existence. For it to unfold into the highest truth of existence, and it's false, we need the principle of true. We need the principle of good, so that we can recognize the goodness of wisdom, understanding and knowing, second and third hypothesis, and the badness of its distorted reflection, pseudo-goodness, belief and materialism. There has to be a principle of one for us to be able to bring into a oneness in all of the different ways. It's distortion, as we said, in 5 and 4 hypotheses, materialism belief. In the good kinds of ways, to bring into a one of whole and part in the highest sense, for knowledge, or in understanding, to have your state of mind as a whole and your functioning from that to providentially benefit the parts and understanding. There has to be a principle of one for all of those different kinds of onenesses. Therefore, for there to be any sort of unfolding into creation or a return which is necessary for there to be justice, learning, development, growth, there necessitates the idea of one, good, and true. But it's the same question. Are all these different filing cabinets? Are all these different ideas? No, these are the intelligences or the eidos, the aspects, not forms. That's a mistranslation of that Greek word. These are the aspects of intelligence. So too, we could ask, could the principle of one, the principle of good, and the principle of true that's necessitated by the second hypothesis be the same thing? Be its kind of eidos of self. Because these are all selfers. We need self-beauty, self-justice, self-goodness to distinguish it itself from its expression, reflection, or functioning. So we also need the idea of self. And by the way, there has to be some self going through this return or learning. Seeking our good, seeking the one, seeking the truth. Therefore, if the highest term is self, could it be the thing that is the principle of one, good and true that's necessary? That's what we can think about because we have fun.
dead-eyed, and I don't use this kind of brain rot escalate.
Would you just blow in from stupid?
Making ice cream's a good and courageous. I've been a bad little girl.
Unbelievable sluts these days.
Unbelievable these days. Sometimes I didn't have an idea in mind. I just press all the random buttons.
You have the brain of a child if you think that.
No, I deserve that.
Do a poggers.
Absolutely gooped.
Absolutely goop.
I'm going to get you. I'm going to find you. And I'm going to get you.
Please don't find me and get me. So, interesting. So the gap or understanding through which we can distinguish false and true, reach our goodness and benefit, and bring things together into a oneness. There's our 3 basketball teams. Triad, the duad, and the triad, the mind, the true, good one. Presupposes their existence together somewhere. That's the second hypothesis, or the idea of being. Both of which are known through ousia, understanding, or the third through time, all at once, is the being or second hypothesis. But they necessitate, as in a way that we just nailed down for ourselves in our own little dialectic, we saw for ourselves, and do your own. Like part of why you're here as a different soul from me might be to create your own style or versions, your own dialectic, to see how the third implies the second implies the first. Because Socrates says they all come together into a triad of self. It's pretty neat. Imagine that. Like the dream maker, perhaps, having the knowledge of self, having the wisdom of being, and to be able to function providentially for all souls. Why accept anything less? Have you seen the intricacy in the universe? Why go through the creation of all that intricacy and not have such a wonderful goal at the end? Why settle for anything less than this triad? So going over those ideas is a contemplation. We are doing contemplation. The more sincerely we do it, the more it becomes our preparation for vision. So the more sincerely you go with me, we'll follow along, we're doing it together with that contemplation, and do your own even, the more you're preparing your soul for those same insights of Socrates. You're becoming like the character by reading him. And not just reading him, but seeing how his mind works. Not just taking these as beliefs or factoids to post on Instagram to impress your friends for likes. But to raise your mind to his level of mind by seeing how his mind works. If he says, oh, by the way, you can find a way of seeing how understanding, third, presupposes mind, second, and how that presupposes self, first. Really? I'll have to remember that. Don't remember it, do it. You see it. And we just did it. So we, by sincerely reflecting on the text and reading in this way that we're doing, we're seeing it for ourselves. Now what we've been seeing is everything we're learning about reading, we can wonder about how we can apply it to dreams. Therefore, if the dream says something, oh, by the way, you can do this or that. Okay, that's an interesting factoid. No, you see it. You see how you can understand your problems. You see how you can see it expressed in your present. How it is an implication of your past. And how it can manifest in your future. Our idea is to raise our mind by seeing how and why he thinks this way to the mind of our character Socrates, so too with the dream maker. Our goal is to raise our mind to the level of mind of the dream maker. So too with the dialectic. If the greatest activity is the dialectic, to remove your problems or reach your excellence, then if you're participating in it, wouldn't you want to be like the guy facilitating that for you? Become like the dialectician. And if the dream maker is the highest dialectician, ipso facto,
I love this guy.
be like the dream maker.
I'm too pure.
It's better to come in the sink than to sink in the cum.
See, you don't just believe the oracle saying that, you have to see why it's better to do that first thing and not the second one. Oh Lord, absolutely go.
Gooners.
Oh, yeah, that was a gooner thing to say. So, practice it. Now, you could say, well, all right, we're doing it together here in reading, but every dream you have is a new text. Another opportunity or gift to practice this. Not just understanding what's being said, but the mind of the person saying it and what they must be seeing to be able to see it this way, so you can follow those steps, discover it on your own, and raise your mind to the level of the author. Notice, that's not belief. Belief is the exact opposite of that. Don't understand what I see. I'm special boy. I have magic insight into economy. I have magic insight into Abraham and Jesus. I have magic insight into laws because I'm king or politician. You just do as you're told. Fuck that. That's ignorance. Fourth hypothesis. Like a mechanic saying to his apprentice, no, just believe me. You'll never become a mechanic yourself. That's scamming. So you have a gift to become like your own dream maker, which seems to be functioning from God through gods to benefit selves, or first through second to benefit third. First, second, third, the threesome or triad of the self. You have texts you can read to become like the dream maker, who may just well be the highest kind of excellence you are seeking for yourself. And all intelligent... Hey, notice dogs dream? Some dogs are even learning to talk about their dreams with magic talking buttons. And birds, which is very cute. And cats. I saw this cat. The owner calls it a fish because it loves to swim, and it talks like it purrs, it meows a lot when it presses the button. It's very, very cute. And you can see him learning. Flounder, I think the name is. He loves Pocahontas. Watches the movie Pocahontas all the time. And then for his birthday, the owner got like a Pocahontas imitator. And the cat is very scared usually, and became friends with the real life Pocahontas lady. It was so cute. And then she talked a lot about, or he or she talked a lot about Pocahontas and how they went swimming. One more thing about the talking cat. She has a mouse toy. And she tries, and it's like just a little mouse toy. And she makes it press the button sometimes, so the mouse toy talks. And the cat can ride a skateboard. And he has like a mini skateboard for the cat toy, and she makes the cat toy do the mouse toy do the skateboard. And sometimes instead of because I think the cat wants to be very brave, so when the cat's scared, sometimes the cat will say to the parent, "Oh, cat toy is scared," or "Cat toy is worried." It's so cute. So, they're all dreaming. Where do you think they're headed? Do you think their dreams are cruel? Think a dream maker or a divine or a profound intelligence that creates the texts or dreams for those cats and talking birds and dogs and pigs? There's Merlin the talking pig. I've seen that pig as well. That's very cute. Do you think that intelligence would want to be torturing these pure, sweet animals who are very adorably trying to learn? So where do you think they're headed? So these are all things we can wonder about, which is part of the game. So, this kind of wondering and contemplation, even if it's talking about talking animals with talking buttons on Instagram, is a kind of contemplation. And the more sincerely we wonder about these things, the more we are preparing our own souls for this vision, for this kind of vision. Isn't that neat? It's a win-win. We have fun talking about cute animals, talking about the text, and we're preparing our soul for our own vision.
It's a win-win-win-win-win. Win-win-win-win-win-win-win-win-win-win-win-win-win-win-win-win.
These absolute dullards.
Hubba hubba. I just want more testosterone to human body ratio, and I'll finally be satisfied.
Jesus, Emma. Spam, new spam today. Hello, spam
I'm a
bot.
human. I don't listen to robots.
Don't listen to you, spammer. There's actually a legible name with this spammer today. Normally they're just numbers and illegible.
Further fill the internet with spam and AI slop.
That's what you're doing.
It's a scam.
It's a scam.
Robots will replace that, and that's terrifying.
I'm eating the testicles of this bull, and
It's a rug pull.
It's a rug pull.
You don't talk to me, you robot. Shut up.
Shut up,
But you
robot.
shut up. You shut the hell up for a second. You're not real.
You're not real.
you moron, you absolute
You
fucking
absolute
buffoon, you goddamn
You
idiot.
goddamn idiot. We have one every day almost, it seems. So, this kind of reflection that we have just been doing creates the conditions for our search, and the search brought to us to see and practice the art of mind, coming to know the mind. I like that, says Jesus, because it's a contemplation that begins and ends in a true philosophy. We're doing true philosophy. Isn't that neat? By reflecting about what? Our reading, sure. The dialectic that we apply to reading, oh, absolutely. But also the highest expression of that, dreams. Souls doing the reading. Minds functioning through the dialectic. And self coming to know itself through dreams. There's our threesome. Which weeks ago we hypothesized as the stages of development as the 3 levels of the causes. The 5 causes: stuffs, activity, doer, some sort of blueprints, and the reason. Souls as receptive to the activity of reading and the functioning of reflecting on our reading to discover there's a paradigm, the dialectic, for the sake of awakening to the dialectic. Now we are awakening to the higher level. We're not just a physical soul in the physical world. Notice, reading is the best physical thing you can do. You could do basketball, other sports games. You could do boxing. That's another sport example. You could do skateboarding is kind of the same. You could do paper mache. But the highest kind of activity the soul can do, reading. Hang on a second. Because reading these kinds of texts has that for the sake of which to awaken mind to the dialectic, the highest use of mind, or the skill of mind, the way we go from slaves to CEO billionaire fascists, slave to religious fascists, slave to politicians, the fascists, slave to etc., educational fascists, all of these institutions that demand slavery to the system or to their system of oppression. Fuck that. The way that we think for ourselves or use the mind is the dialectic. And therefore the greatest activity of mind, so we're not in the physical world anymore, we're not looking at the text, we are just using our mind to reason through our insights and understanding. Dialectic. But hang on a second, after having benefited freeing yourself from your blocks and perfecting your reading about what's true, while also reflecting on the author of the text. See, just like reading, so too with the dialectic. The structure of the dialectic and how we read best, while also reflecting on the how and why the author thinks this way. So too, we're following the same logos or dialectic structure of the dialectic, while also wondering how does the dialectician function in this way, so we can become like the dialectician. Realize that there is a model, the second hypothesis. So the providential functioning of the third necessitates the paradigm, the second hypothesis, that for the sake of which is to say, oh my fuck.
It's better to come in the sink than to sink in the cum.
Right, that's another insight you might get. But to say, oh my goodness.
Absolutely
Enough of that. The best kind of dialectician, mind, that creates the best kind of texts, soul, for our learning is our dreams. So therefore, and not only that, the dreams presupposes not just a knowledge of the dialectic that we can use to follow the logos in the text or in our midwifery, but knows all about the self. So some sort of paradigm of the self, the first hypothesis. So the reading, third, necessitates the paradigm of the dialectic, which presupposes the paradigm of the second, and that presupposes the highest, in discovering the dream, and that dreams as the highest functioning of that, presupposes the self, the dream maker, being able to function through the intelligences of the second and dialectic to create texts like the third. Another way of seeing what Socrates saw, a different way of doing it, but still great.
Win, 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 win.
So, a self-receptive to the activity of dream analysis while wondering about, oh my fuck, how does, oh my fuck.
Die mad about it, bitch. Calm your fucking tits.
Calm your tits. Calm your tits, because I can also become like the dream analysis midwife. And there's a paradigm that, hey, not just the midwife, but hang on a second, reflection on the dream maker. Can I become like the author of dreams? Ooh. Therefore, that for the sake of which, if the dream maker is from God or self, through, that's the first hypothesis, through intelligences or mind, second, that can create texts or that reflect understanding that can benefit souls, third, is the dream maker the expression of the triad of self that is our own ideal, communicating to us to help in our development. For all those, including pigs, cats, and birds, if they are dreaming and reflecting on their dreams too. Unifying these three different things because, hey, text, the dialectic, the dreams. Do all of them. And you can do all of them so while we can learn about the logos and dialectic in our reading, so we can learn about the problems that we carry in our mind and our development of mind in the dialectic, only dreams tick all the boxes. You get a text to read that reflects the logos, allowing you to learn the dialectic as well. It allows you to practice the dialectic on it, so because that's how you read it without interpretation. And it gives you the development for your understanding, tick, your mind, tick, and the self. So dreams are a kind of text You could spend as long on any dream as we have done in the 130 episodes of this text. That ticks all the boxes. It's a win-win-win.
Win.
Meaning, not only is it the most important because it ticks all the boxes, gives you a text, gives you the what you need for your own dialectic functioning, and also gives you what you need to discover the self and reach the self. It may even be essential because there may be things about your reading you miss, and you have to get help development in, and it might have things about your problems that you miss because of your problems. And well, if you're here to discover the self, maybe you need a guide for that too. So not only the highest activity that ticks all the boxes, but necessary in doing all of those other things properly. So isn't that cool?
That one's perfect and exactly the case.
Great. And now you can say to your friends,
My head is quite large and filled with
secrets.
your head is quite large and filled with secrets about the dreams. So, the triad of the self. Pretty neat. So, all of the ways the mind communicates to us can be brought together in dream analysis. I do enjoy the way you are bringing it all together into a unity. Thanks. No. Thank you.
You moron. You absolute fuck.
Jesus is gonna come down and wipe
This place out. Who cares?
Come on. Don't be so doomer-y.
It's a total shit show. Do a poggers.
So, worth reflecting on. See what we've done? We read a little bit further about dreams. We've gone back a few paragraphs. And now, because of what we've seen later, we can gain greater insight in what was there to be seen earlier that we weren't able to see because of, we had to go back. Usia. Or, like a Christopher Nolan movie, only the twist at the end can help you go back to the beginning and watch the film again in a way that sheds light on what was there the whole time, but you weren't able to see it until you got to the later parts. See? I think it's cool. So then there's Sneezius, the dopey dwarf from what's it called? Snow White. Alright, so back to dreams. So therefore, having seen the kinds of things that we've just seen for ourselves, can we see why that kind of a philosopher stands apart from or above the others? Because they would be necessarily lacking what they need without it, and they won't be able to reach their ultimate purpose without seeing dreams as not only important but essential to the spiritual life. It's through dreams we can reach the receptacle of truth, pure, brilliant, and divine. I would suggest both first and second fit into that category, because it's us philosophers who are doing dream analysis who are the ones open to enlightenment. So we say, so we've been talking about the fact that there's only really two questions you can ask someone. What's the pathologo? What's your level of, like, how are you going with the logos? How are you going with your pathologos? Where are you at? Where are you stuck? What's your current highest vision and understanding of what you've been reading? And what's your current level of insight and understanding into your problem? Where you at, where you stuck? But we could say there's actually a third question. So we talked about going into other groups going to the Buddhist temple or the Taoist ashram or the Jewish synagogue or Christian megachurch and say, hey, how are you with your logos? How are you with your pathologos? But you could also say, how are you going with your understanding of your dreams? Because that seems to be higher than both, because they incorporate both while having them specifically tailored to your own level of self-development and the kinds of issues you are facing. There's 3 questions you can really ask someone. Where you at? Where you stuck? How are your dreams? Isn't that interesting? So, are you someone who wants to be open to development? Are you interested in understanding truth? Reaching the receptacle of truth, pure, brilliant, and divine? By the way, we talked about saying, hey, let's not only learn from what Socrates is saying in the text, but understand how he can see it that way himself. If dreams have the ability to see into the future, lots of people have recognized their dreams have said something about what is yet to happen and happened. We reflect on the author of dreams so we can raise our mind to meet him to meet that level, to reach that level. In other words, become like the dream maker, which would include the ability to see the future.
I'm always good, and that is what I stand for, being good all the time.
Helping you be good all the time, right?
Why can't these guys shut up, whether or not it's about Jesus?
No, I don't want to shut up. We're doing good work. We're doing great work, aren't we, Emma?
I'm too pure.
Great. So, I want to hang out with those homies, says Socrates, those who have a kinship with their dreams, and practice their those who have a kinship with dreams as they practice their philosophy. Fits, doesn't it? What's philosophy? Reading, dialectic, and dreams. Reading to surface the logos and surface our pathologos. Dialectic to put the logos together and solve the puzzle of our pathologos. And ultimately, know the self. Dreams. And dreams give you a text, and you won't be able to understand your dreams unless you're doing the dialectic, and it's your guide to know the self. So it would be the highest practice of philosophy as it ticks all 3 levels. Self, dreams, mind, dialectic, soul, reading to discover the logos and surface your individual unsuspected pathologos that get in the way of your reading, or cause you to interpret your reading. It's a kind of a block. The continuous study of your dreams, every single night or day, your imagination becomes conjoined with a profound understanding. That's what we've been talking about today. What is the divine intelligence that we awaken? Well, it seems to be a union of your highest understanding, like your highest skills on the basketball court are awakened when you're in the zone, and your imagination, your court vision, you're seeing everything all at once, so it's the whole and the part. Your imagination, your ability to visualize, imagine things, and your highest understanding. So we've been talking about the difference between in intimate relationships, fantasy. That's a kind of imagination, but it's making use of your pathologos images. When what you could be doing in a truly loving relationship that we get from Diotima, using your imagination with your highest understanding. Reflect on where you at, where you're stuck, and your dreams. What'd you dream about today? What's a vision or understanding that's inspiring you? Or what's a state of mind, vision, imagination, or a negative self-talk or block, understanding that you're struggling with? What's your greatest struggle? What's your greatest vision and insight? And what's the latest? So yeah, what's your greatest struggle? What's your greatest and most inspiring insight or understanding? And what's your latest dream? Conjoining imagination and profound understanding together, what we would call intuitive intelligence, which awakens the divine character, your divine character. Interesting. No, the divine character is interesting because it's not just you. It seems to be one of many or singular. And the organ that you might want to point to, the eye of the soul. Through dreams and the continuous study of dreams as the practice of your philosophy, approaches and experiences that intuitive intelligence of the divine character that unifies imagination and profound understanding through the eye of the soul. Wowzers.
Wow. 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 Wow.
It's a
Wow. 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 Wow.
what, you just blowing?
Wow. 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 Wow.
Hey man, wouldn't some
Wow. Wow.
cool it?
I'm cute. Like,
Wow. Wow. Wow.
Die mad about it, bitch.
Wow. 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 Wow.
No, you're not the one that's mentally unwell. You're brave. You are crossing boundaries.
Wow, this is crossing into new boundaries. So from God, through the gods, that dreams come to each soul. 1, 2, 3. Also, divination. Wouldn't that help? Would it help if you were to create a text that would relate what's most needed for an individual self's learning? Would it help being able to see some tragedy that they could avoid if they reflect, like in a tragic hero in a Greek tragedy? Would help you avoiding problems so you can better improve your learning and playing the game. Ooh, interesting. What's that use of seeing into the future? The art of divination. By the way, anyone can play. You don't have to be a special chosen one with the mark of the philosopher king, with the mark of the king of the pirates, with the, I don't know, 9 tails in your soul. Everyone. Because we're all participated by dreams, we're all visited by the pure intelligence and by God. So we're all it's through dreams, through the gap, third hypothesis, that we are visited by pure intelligence, second hypothesis, and by God, first, self. So the God, self, the intelligence, being, visits you in the gap between your life, third hypothesis, through understandable stories, third hypothesis, so we can all participate in the 1, 2, 3 hypotheses, self, mind, understanding. We all get to participate in something that seems to be the goal we're after, leading us to become like it, meaning a way of being that can unite all of humanity in truth, good, and oneness. Self, being, understanding. Philodianoia, the love of understanding. Dreams come to us all. There you go. And reveal a personal knowledge. Whoa, that's why it's the highest. About our struggles. What are the 2 kinds of struggles? Where you at, where you stuck. Logos, pathologos. And also about what we desperately need to know. So not only does it know what you're doing, but what you need to know to solve your puzzles. I should add that he held that it was entirely unnecessary to interpret. You don't have to carry anything or project anything from your own beliefs, meaning dialectic. Dreams, understanding, dialectic, the skill of understanding. Dreams can become visible from the depths of their obscurity through the kind of reflection that we both know is the passageway to the divine. Passageway, mean term. What's between soul's reading and the self's participation in the dream maker? Or the ultimate self as dream maker from the lesser soul as struggling to read the text? The method or passageway to the divine, dialectic. That's the mean, that's the method, that's the skill we're here to practice. We do it when we read, we use it when we solve our puzzles or problems in midwifery, and we do it to unpack our dreams. By the way, dreams gives you a text, gives you a dream, allows you to practice the dialectic, which is the passageway, and guides you to know the self. Tick, tick, tick. It's a win-win.
Win. It's a win.
Spit on me.
Come on, Emma, calm down.
Unbelievable sluts these days.
That might be why Socrates is looking for these kinds of homies to hang out with, and why we say philosophers who have seen this as the highest and essential and necessary stand apart as the highest kind of philosopher, or mystic, or learner. It's all of them. And we're still wondering about what it would be like to have that state of intuitive intelligence, have a cognitive function of understanding and imagination together, not separated, all at once in the moment, from a divine character that we awaken, an eye of the soul that we open, and what it would be like for it to for us to be able to see into the future in some way. What does that even mean? Isn't the future yet to happen? How can you see into the future? How does this Time Lord stuff work? Oh my goodness, we have so many puzzles, but they are puzzles of the highest kind. The best kinds of puzzles, the best kind of confusion, the best kind of being stung. Oh my god, have I mentioned this book? This book is a goddamn motherfucking banger. Holy crap. Bangs the hardest of all those that bang. Of all ye that bang, come ye and cast thine eyes on the bangerest of all of the bangers. My goodness. All problems, all spiritual traditions, the problem with our education system, our justice system, our financial system, our political system, and religion, all in one book. Simplified in 2 words, logos, pathologos, with 1 art, dialectic, in 1 activity, dream analysis. Awakening our highest self, understood as a triad. Not just as a imagination, but a unified, something we can imagine with the literal highest use of understanding. What's the highest use of understanding we have in humanity to date? The greatest book never read. The first, second, and third hypotheses are pure understanding. The highest expression of the dialectic I'm aware of, I think, other than, of course, our dreams and this kind of book which utilizes it, but in a pure understanding sense. First, second, and third. Not an opinion, not a matter of debate. You either see it and benefit, or you're blocked. But that's okay. We can all be wrong sometimes.
You sick fuck.
Oh my goodness. Because so long as we are looking as to why we are opposing our highest understanding, visualized in our highest understanding, visualized in our highest imagination, highest understanding, highest imagination, awakening our divine character, eye of the soul, intuitive intelligence, including seeing into the future in some kind of a way, which is the highest practice of everything: philosophy, education, spirituality, and the paradigm for all humanity to unite, because God intelligence visits us through dreams. 1, 2, 3. There's that triad. Ooh, lots to think about. Would these be the best kinds of puzzles? The best kinds of curiosity? Are we seeing why dreams stand apart from everything and unite everything? Oof. Come ye that bang. Come ye that bang and read the bangerest of all thine that bang. My goodness.
No, you're not the one that's mentally unwell. You're brave. You are crossing bound. The problem is that you can't read.
Right.
Cool as a cuke.
Cool as a cuke.
Brain rot.
Cool as a cuke.
All checks out.
All checks out. Now all of you can say to your friends,
My head is quite large and
Filled with secrets.
now I hope all your heads are large and full with secrets. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for sort of supporting the channel if you're able to. There's a link below. Join on Facebook. Twitch, YouTube. You can join the Discord if you like. And I hope that you take that large head full of secrets, filled with all of these greatest kinds of puzzles. I think these are the greatest kind of puzzles that we can have. My goodness. Do we get a new fresh one every night when we dream? Bring that head full of these puzzles into the next episode, and I will see you then. Thanks.
You're a wizard, Harry.
Oh, and also you're a wizard, Harry, because I pressed the wrong button. But you are. It's the hero's journey. Can we see why it's the hero's journey? Why it's the archetype for all people? And talking pigs, dogs, and birds, and cats? Lots to puzzle about. See you next time. Bye.